Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to focus on two players, and that is going to be Moriba and Jandro Orellana. These are two players who are coming from the academy, and as we continue to go deeper and deeper into this summer, we are finally starting to get a clearer idea on what could happen to these players. These are two players where many have considered to be gems within the academy. So we are going to be splitting this into two parts. We are first going to be talking about Moriba, and then later in the video, we're also going to be talking about Jandro Orellana. So first starting with Moriba, and I do want to answer two very different questions. One is going to be the fact that we're hearing Moriba and his father and the representatives disagree with Barcelona on what that contract renewal should look like. Is this Moriba's fault? And then the second question is going to be this: what is going to be Barcelona's next move if they cannot find that renewal deal? So look, one thing is very clear. Barcelona and Moriba cannot find an agreement. They are stalled. They do not know what to do. Barcelona do not know if there could be an agreement, and that is only because Moriba, the agents, and the father do have very high demands, and that is something that Barcelona cannot reach. And that is where the question does come in: is this Moriba's fault? Now here's the thing: when you are negotiating, right, a new deal for your player, it is always going to be the job of the agent to defend the player's best interest. Let me repeat that: it is always going to be the job of the agent to defend the player's best interest. And so the fact that we're seeing this renewal process not progress to where it should be, then yes, part of it has to do with Moriba and the father saying, we want these certain demands and we want you, the agent, to fix that for us. That is how deals basically do work, right? Because Moriba is not going to be working for the agent. Moriba is not going to be trapped on what the agent does want. It never works like that. It is always the reverse. The agent works for Moriba and the father to get the best deal. And ultimately, it is safe to say that the player and the father, they do have the final decision on what they want to do and what they do demand. And look, I get why the player and the father or the family or the agents, they do want money. I get that. I get why the player wants to progress on a financial level. That is how all players should be thinking. It does make sense. That is just the world that we live in. But we have to remember that Moriba and the father are not the only ones receiving massive wage cuts. There are many players in this squad that are receiving them. Messi is leading that, and Piqué is leading that as leaders to say that this is what we need to do. This is how we're also getting by, and this is only going to be very temporary. And look, even if these were the intentions in the beginning of the summer, I also did expect for Moriba and the father and the agents to come into an agreement and say, let's loosen the restrictions so we can find an agreement with Barcelona. But that has not been the case, and now they are paying the price for that, unfortunately, because earlier there was a match for Barcelona B. The squad list came out and Moriba could not feature within that squad list. And it says here, according to Albert Rogue, Barcelona B played their first preseason game today and Moriba will not participate in it. The club does not allow it. And then we also do have another report coming from Sport stating Moriba's release clause is set at 100 million euros, but the midfielder is valued at around 25 million euros. Barcelona want to sell this summer if he does not renew this deal. There are many teams in the Premier League who are eyeing this situation. And so look, I want to get one thing very straight. We do not know what's going to be happening with Moriba. We do not even know what are the true intentions of this player. Everything is just assuming and what could go on if this does end up being true. If Moriba and the father do demand a certain number that Barcelona cannot meet. I want to get that very clear in this video. But the only things that we have heard as of now is that there were reports stating that Koeman wants to have Moriba on the training pitch and to play within the first team. Ronald Koeman does like Moriba. And then we have also heard reports about Moriba seeing eye to eye with Barcelona and the first team, that he does want to play and that he wants these negotiations to finish as soon as possible so he can have his chance to finally get back on the training ground and on the pitch. But that is where the questions do arise, right? This is what makes everything so confusing. Does that mean that Moriba wants the negotiations to progress by Barcelona accepting the offer that the father and the agents are proposing, or does he want to accelerate this process by having the father and the agents lower the salary demands in order for him to play? That is my biggest question. That is what we do not know. So because we are in that gray area and we do not know what are the intentions, and because we're going to have to find out throughout the next 4 to 5 weeks, now this is going to lead us towards the next question. What is going to be the next move? What should Barcelona do if it does come to a conclusion that Moriba will not continue with Barcelona? Let's just say that yes, the agents and the father and Moriba, they have lowered their demands, but Barcelona still cannot meet them. Let's just say that does happen. What would be Barcelona's next move? And so obviously, right, Barcelona is going to be needing to sell. But here's one big problem that I do find, and I'm going to also separate this into two parts. There's two ways Barcelona can go at this. Way number one, there is a slight chance that the transfer fee of Moriba potentially moving to the Premier League or any other team, maybe that transfer fee may be undervalued. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because if we were to look at the past Barcelona departures, there has been many La Masia players leaving Barcelona, and for bargains, for very cheap prices, not 25, 28, 30, 35 million euros. We have sold them for around the ranges of 1 to 5 million euros, which makes me believe, then what could Moriba actually be worth? Would it actually be worth it to sell Moriba for around 3 to 5 million euros? And the only reason why there is always going to be that concern is because Moriba did not get a lot of minutes last season. He was only introduced on January 2021, and he did not play in every game and played a full 90 minutes. And let's look at some great examples on what it could look like to sell an academy player if you use it correctly. Back on September 2020, Real Madrid let go of two players, and that was Hakimi and Renewal. Hakimi was sold for 45 million euros and Renewal was sold for 33 million euros. Now let's keep in mind that these are price tags that were being accepted in the middle of a pandemic. And so these were two players that came through the academy. And the only reason why Hakimi and Renewal were sold by Real Madrid at a very high price, which was again 45 and 33 million euros, it is because Hakimi went to Dortmund before he was sold on September 2020 for one season, and he got the minutes that he did deserve, where he could have never gotten them at Real Madrid. Then you look at Renewal. He has played with Sevilla, he has gotten more minutes than he would have at Real Madrid, and because of that, the clubs were able to see Hakimi and Renewal play all those minutes, show their quality, show who they are, and then be willing to pay that high price tag fee. That is how you do business. That is how Real Madrid flipped those squad players. Now, what does Barcelona have to learn from this? Barcelona should go in the exact same way if it is possible, because we have to remember that this is one way Barcelona could approach this, which is to loan Moriba to a Premier League club, let him play his minutes, and then potentially have another club or maybe even the same club purchase that player. And then the other way, the other option that Barcelona could take this would be to sell the player outright in the summer. Because look, again, if Moriba cannot stay at Barcelona, maybe the father and the agent are going to be wanting to sell outright, move to a different club, get the wages that he does deserve. And that is it, right? I do not know if Barcelona could be receiving 5 to 6 million euros. Who knows what that transfer fee is going to be, but it does not look good at this moment from Barcelona's perspective. Hopefully, Barcelona, if they do end up selling Moriba in the summer, they can find a buyer that is willing to pay a minimum of 25 million euros. Now I do want to move on towards the next topic, which is about Jandro Orellana. And this is going to be something very similar to what we have just discussed. And you're going to be seeing what I do mean by this. So we do have some surprising news regarding Jandro Orellana. And it says here, according to Albert Rogue, that in the past weeks, the renewal of Jandro has cooled down. As of today, the club does not count on him for the first team. The player will decide soon and nothing is ruled out. Many clubs are actually interested if he does decide to change his ways and move away from Barcelona. First things first, Jandro Orellana, if you guys do not know who that is, he is an academy player that is loved by many fans. He is an extremely talented player. The way that he perfects his pivot role has been something that has been in the works from this player, and he has been doing amazing at that. And it really makes you question, right? Why doesn't Koeman and the rest of the staff not count on a player like Jandro Orellana? Because many of us had a feeling and we had the idea that Jandro was going to go into the first team in these next 12 to 18 months. We saw that he was ready. Many were expecting for him to be an important part for this Barcelona team. But if you really think about it, right, and you pay attention to what did happen in the past 5 months, one player has been introduced into the first team and has renewed his contract with Barcelona, and that is Nico Gonzalez, and a player that plays in his position. And so it does seem like Barcelona are choosing Nico Gonzalez over Jandro Orellana. Now look, in my opinion, Jandro Orellana has quicker feet. His instincts are much faster, but then again, you also have to think, wait a minute, but Sergio Busquets is much slower than many other central defensive midfielders, but he's going to go down as one of the best central defensive midfielders that has ever played the game. So maybe quick feet does not matter when playing in that position for FC Barcelona. And it's very unfortunate to see this, because what we are starting to see here at Barcelona is Barcelona letting go of many academy players rather than actually letting go of many first team players. And we could see this in two ways. Does Barcelona want to clean the academy and start all over? Or the reason for this is because Barcelona want to have cash. They want to sell players, and the only way they could do that, if they cannot do that in the first team would be to pick through the academy. It's a very unfortunate situation because Jandro is a very talented player. Now look, the only thing that makes Jandro's case very different to Moriba's is that the problem of Jandro is that he wants to see minutes. That is all. He is not demanding a certain salary. And because of that, that is going to make Barcelona's situation with Jandro much easier. I think that with the idea of loaning out Jandro to a different club where he could get minutes would be something very appreciated by the Barcelona fans and by the player himself. And then by the end of that loan move, Barcelona can make a choice whether to sell this player or bring him back into Barcelona's first team. And who knows if Barcelona might see Jandro in a very different way. We might even have a different coach that appreciates a player like Jandro. But Jandro in the next season, he does have to play in first team football. I'm going to say this again. It's very unfortunate to hear that Jandro is going to be leaving potentially, whether it's a sell or a loan move, because he does deserve to see himself in a Barcelona shirt at the Camp Nou. But whatever does happen regarding these two players, Moriba and Jandro, we are going to be discussing that here in this YouTube channel. So that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.